Welcome back to Serenity with Lana. I am Lana. I am joined by Coco, who is a very tired puppy and just wants to go to bed. We are not going to bed yet. I wasn't planning on making this video. I made a different video at a certain point about this, and it mostly has to do with physicians helping people pass away, but I just want to talk about what happens when headlines hurt more than they do any good, and when people really feed into them and end up sharing with their social media platform, people that may be going through that experience or may have a different experience, what you're doing to those people and how re-traumatization can happen through parasocial relationships or just the sharing of misinformation. And it really drowns out the lived experience of people like me. The other day, I had somebody from my past share a story about a woman who was living with a very rare vaccine injury. And we all know vaccine injuries can happen, they don't always happen, and they aren't as prevalent as we think that they are. We have done more good than harm with a lot of the vaccinations that we have come out with. But what happened after broke my heart in a way, because there was no conversation, there was no interest in my lived experience with this, there was no interest in anything but other than what their interest is, and that's probably being unvaccinated, not going by the norms, ignoring data, and going into a story that is so one-sided. So I'll link the article down below of this woman, and it's unfortunate what her story is. However, it's just not the norm. It's basically framed with a sensational headline: youth after COVID vaccine injury. So this wasn't just another biased, inflammatory clickbait piece. This one hit me deep because there's been so many. I had to get off of Twitter for this reason. There's just too many misinformed people. There's too many people that want their opinion to upset others. And honestly, people that are in my position who have gone through the process, who have had that process really fucked up by people that are malicious and that intend to do harm. I can't imagine what this woman is going through, but I'd like to open up the conversation of what she's doing doesn't really bring any justice or any light to the people that have sat waiting for assessments, who have sat waiting for doctors to start treating them appropriately. And in this article, it starts going on about statistics of how a lot of the people that were provided MAID had neurological disorders, and there's a reason for that. Also, they go into how you don't have to have a terminal illness to be able to be considered for that. And that is because even if you have a life-limiting disease or condition, eventually you're going to deteriorate. And at what point are you going to deteriorate so much that you're not going to be able to make an informed decision? So basically what I mean by that is you wait and then you decide, I don't want to live this way anymore. And then it's too late because your cognitive abilities are not there. And then you get denied because of that. So there's all these factors that people without medical degrees are writing about or talking about that are trying to persuade other people into believing what is right and what is wrong. And the fact of the matter is, what's right and what's wrong is individualized, and it's up to that person. So if you are cognitively capable of making your own medical decisions, then these conversations need not exist outside of the four walls that it's happening with the MAID provider or your physician. And I don't think it should be a public thing. It should be a public discussion when we're talking about people that may not have the capacity, or we have people that are in these fields that may not be doing the right thing for their patient. But not a lot of people know my full story or engage in dialogue about what I've experienced. There's not a lot of people that want to hear the other side of the story or even allow space for complexity in the topic. It's not black and white. It can't be black and white. But yet there's people that are speaking with certainty, and they're doing it loudly and proudly and publicly, and it hurts people ultimately.